thought I would take you all on a tour. Might as well. We got some instrumentals by the legendary Pete Rock. This is 509 School of Hip Hop right here. London, Canada. The Forest City. Welcome to 519 School of Hip Hop, where we go over all things hip hop, from the graffiti, visual art, design, personal branding, community development, entrepreneurship. What up? And this is what we call a home of hip hop in the Forest City. It's right here. It's from my high school days, 2000s. Sharp technology. Bah. Got some compact discs. This right here is from Korea. My dad's old Sony setup. Made in Japan. Crazy. But yes, welcome. This is our library of shoes, some merch, some more kicks. Ill at will. Got some sneaker room over here. Godfather of hip hop, cool DJ Herc. I go by the name Jihoon Francis Xavier, just freely express. Stay hungry, humble. Yeah. What up, everybody? This is JFX, just freely expressed. Jihoon Francis Xavier checking in from 519 School of Hip Hop once again. Wanted to have a seat and just document a little bit, keeping up with that promise to myself to continue documenting and journaling this process and just speaking on it from the vocal practice, verbalizing these thoughts and giving myself and I would say our community that we feel somewhat in synchronization with an opportunity to connect, reflect, and take it as a collective step to move forward. And it's been a healthy way for me to dedicate a little bit more time to myself to keep up with this practice, not for necessarily, gaining an audience, but a way for me to express some of these things that are lingering in my head internally. So it's a bridge point to putting it out there to see if anyone connects, can relate, and that has obviously been a driving force behind, ones that feel connected and safe in the space that we have curated and created. And it doesn't, come easy, and it definitely requires a lot of consistency and commitment. So we clearly appreciate everybody that's been here and that has still yet to come, but understand that like there's this wave of movement that in a way is like almost unstoppable because the need for it, demand for it, and the requirement of this like new approach to education, working with children and youth. There's a lot of breaking boundaries and barriers that we're showcasing. And I would say that this type of education method may not have been received as well a decade ago. Maybe about 5 years ago, around 2020, they start to feel like, oh, we should pay a little more attention to this, but how, when, how quickly can we do that? So this is another way for me to connect these dots with the hindsight, the 2020 vision and the amount of excitement and I guess pure ambition and passion of like, you were doing this and opening up the space, like, ready or not. And ready or not, like COVID hit, but surviving the 5 years with that as a testing ground of like resilience of our community and the ability to mobilize the right pockets of the community groups. So yes, there's a lot of passion that I'm feeling from not only myself but the like, day ones and truly committed, dedicated students of 519, and it includes the parents. It includes fellow teachers at schools and you know administrators that are at least giving us the opportunity, giving their colleagues an opportunity to present, entertain the idea of giving the kids, the students, entertainment, but also is very well um, like relevant in terms of cultural roots and the sensitivity that is still in the mix because we haven't completely normalized like the way we need to talk about racial issues and things that just get brought up every season. But same with hip hop and the social justice movement. It's not a weekend seminar thing. It's not a certificate that we're aiming for. It's the constant battle that we are engaging in. And those battles often don't take place at competitions and dance circles. It's meeting with the people that are in position in charge of facilitating certain events and showcasing the vibe where it may be very appealing to the public and it could be a lot of check boxes that can just be checked off without as much of a long-term sustainable investment into those artists, individuals, and collectives. However, I personally believe, and I have experienced it, but also having been a student of the hip hop as a game, as a music industry, as a commodified um, program that is so commercially toxic, I think it's important to just address the elephant in the room where, like, if like kids and parents are enrolling their kids into hip hop classes, hip hop dance classes, it should include a certain level of cultural history, the roots of the music, and the social circumstances that like brought on these types of movement. And that includes DJing, includes rapping, includes all the other avenues that hip hop has opened up. So I think that we're definitely in more conversations and have been very fortunate to connect with so many other studio owners and dance teachers and educators. But the truth is, the reality is, it's hard to go all in with this like newfound appreciation or the responsibility because once again, it can't just be like summarized into a 6 week program. It needs to be an internalized process from studying and observation with intention, not just like, oh, this popped up as a sponsored post, so I'm gonna sign up for it because I have the extra $80 to spare, and maybe I'll feel good about standing up for this cause and changing up my Facebook profile picture for a month throughout the year. And that's like the type of keyboard warrior or just non-social social media interaction. And what we're proposing and what we're always advocating for is to give chances where communities and families and kids can like come in and show up to library sessions and outdoor sessions and just soak in the vibe, express, and learn about the culture through participation. And the participation like needs to start from the adults and leaders because they're the ones that are modeling for Whether you have adult students, teenagers, or preteens to toddlers, I think as educators, as artists, it is our it's our responsibility, the duty, as Miss Nina Simone said, to reflect the times. And like, if you're moving with the times, you will know that like what you are participating in is maybe locked into a certain groove of other parties, other community groups. And there's always going to be the anti to that. The contrast to the cultural appropriation is going to be I can't say overly appreciate, but having the appreciation means you understand it. You understand it because you took the time long enough to see where it all came from, how it connects and lands with you, and how we can use that to fuel our desire to give back, right? That's a cycle, each one teach one. That's always, always the number one important message of hip hop and education. It's empowerment. Take it as your responsibility, as your duty to pass down the knowledge, not just a count of choreography, not just a way for you to sell your program to people that can afford it and put on a show on social media because that's where your reality is when like it's always bigger than dance, always bigger than hip hop. The types of madness that is occurring in the world, if that doesn't give you enough to reflect on how you carry yourself in that space, in that sacred space of like hip hop, dance, and like wellness, I think there's some like checking that we gotta do better. It's our ego, quieting the ego, entitlement, understanding and acknowledging our privileges, and of course, we don't enjoy getting called out, but that happens in many forms, and I think once you're open to those opposing views, it gets a little bit easier to take those punches because we know how to duck, we know how to block, we know how to counter. And I don't know. It's a lot of showing off. It's a lot of look at me, look at us, but like look at me first. Versus like look at these guys, look at these girls, look at these kids. And I'm noticing that too, even like as a back to school, back to studio, first day of class. Of course, I'm not saying everyone is doing it. It's usually a selfie of yourself, like I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Excited to see the kids, of course, but more importantly, I'm back. It's my story, and you know what? That's valid. That's what I'm doing. But anyways, to whoever's watching, much love. If you're not watching, that's cool too. But this is JFX out. It's rambling, but Sunday afternoon, 12:52. Peace.